The day I found out my wife was cheating, the world didn't crash down around me. There was no screaming, no shattered plates. There was just silence. A heavy, suffocating silence that filled every corner of our home, a home we'd built together over 10 years. It started with the little things. Her phone, once left casually on the kitchen counter, was now permanently attached to her hip. Late nights at the office became more frequent, and the warmth in her eyes when she looked at me was replaced by a distant, almost apologetic gaze. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself I was being paranoid. We were happy, weren't we? We had the perfect life, the 2.5 kids, the suburban house, the golden retriever. It was the life we'd always dreamed of. But dreams have a funny way of turning into nightmares when you're not paying attention. The truth came out not in a dramatic confession, but through a misplaced credit card bill, a charge for a hotel, a fancy one downtown, on a night she was supposedly working late. My heart sank. But a part of me, the part that had been screaming silently for months, felt a strange sense of relief. The not knowing was over. I confronted her that evening. I laid the bill on the table between us, and the silence returned, louder than ever. She didn't deny it. The tears that streamed down her face weren't of remorse, but of exhaustion. She had been living a double life, and the weight of it had finally crushed her. I braced myself for the name of a coworker, a guy from her gym, anyone I could picture and direct my anger towards. But the name she whispered shattered my world in a way I never could have imagined. It was my best friend, my brother in all but blood. The man who had been the best man at our wedding, the one I called for advice, the one who had just been at our house for a barbecue last weekend, laughing and playing with my kids. The betrayal was a physical blow. It wasn't just my wife I had lost. It was the two most important people in my life. A bond I thought was unbreakable, now exposed as a complete lie. The silence in our home was no longer just about a broken marriage. It was about the complete demolition of my reality. Rebuilding from that kind of devastation is a long, painful process. There are days when the anger is all-consuming and days when the sadness feels like a permanent shadow. But through it all, I've learned that silence can also be a space for healing. It's in the quiet moments that I've started to find myself again, to redefine who I am outside of that relationship, outside of that friendship. It's a journey I'm still on, and it's far from over. If you've ever faced a betrayal that left you speechless, know that you're not alone. The silence doesn't have to be the end. It can be the beginning of finding your own voice again. Thanks for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more.